Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I am filming this on a Sunday. I have some friends coming over, but before they get here I have a little bit of spare time, so I thought I'd get my camera out and tell you guys about some of the books that I've been reading recently. One book that I read, I finished it about a month ago now. I mentioned it in my last video and I've just been dying to talk about it because I love it so much, and that is A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky. This book is just so good. In case you haven't heard of it before, this book is the second in a series. It's a companion novel to The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which I read last year and absolutely adored. This book is set in the same universe as the first but follows different characters, and it's basically about an artificial intelligence character who has been given a artificial human body for the first time, which is illegal in this universe, and she goes off to live with a tech called Pepper. That's basically what the story is about, but there is so much more to it than that. Something that I loved about this book, and also loved about the first book as well, is that the world building is amazing. Becky has built such a wonderful, huge, complex world, and through this book we kind of get to explore more of what got introduced in the first book. Again, just like the first book, it's very character driven, and actually that made me really scared to start this book. I loved the characters in the first book so much, and because this followed different characters I was a little bit reluctant to pick it up, but I did not have to fear that at all. So if you're watching this and you love the first book but you're scared to follow new characters in this world, don't worry. So although this book is very character-led, the plot that ran through the story was really great. It's actually told through a split narrative. One part is following Pepper from when she was a young girl growing up, and the other part is following the artificial intelligence called Sidra. I loved the way the whole thing was structured. It was so well thought out, and I had no idea how it was all going to come together in the end, but it all just knitted together perfectly right near the end of the book, and I just remember thinking, this is great, this is really good writing, I really like this. I totally wasn't expecting the ending, it was really emotional, yeah, this was good. But one of the things that I really loved about this book, and again really loved about the first book, is that it's about multi-species friendships and how people who look different and sound different can form meaningful relationships. And I think that's really important, and also something that is really applicable to real life as well, especially right now. If you haven't started this series yet, I definitely recommend reading both of these books, and if you've read the first one but are yet to pick up A Closed and Common Orbit, I really recommend getting stuck into this one because it is so good. So now I'm going to move on to another book that I absolutely adored. I just finished this one a couple days ago. I've been super excited for it to come out. I pre-ordered it, I picked it up on my lunch break the day it came out, and that book is A Conjuring of Light by Victoria Schwab. Words. I need words to describe how I feel about this series. Okay, so this is the third book in the Shades of Magic series. The main character that we start off with is called Kel. He's from Red London and he's an Antari. That basically means he is really good at magic. He can control all the different elements, whereas most magicians will usually only be able to control one or two. But the main thing about the Antari is that they can actually travel between worlds. So in this universe there are 4 different versions of London. First we have Red London, which is where Kel is from, and the people who live in this world, their lives are completely infused with magic. We also have Grey London, which is very much like the real world that we live in. It has no magic at all. We have White London, which used to live in harmony with magic but is now completely losing its power, and as a result has plunged into chaos. And then we have Black London, which was completely ravaged and destroyed by magic in the past, and the other Londons have sealed themselves off from in protection. That was so hard to explain in a nutshell because this is such a complex story, there's so much going on and there is so much more to what I just told you. This book has been so highly anticipated and I am pleased to report that this book lived up and exceeded all of my expectations. It is everything I wanted from the final novel in the series. Again, with this book, the world building was absolutely amazing. The world was just so vivid in my mind, so vibrant but yet so effortless to imagine, which I think really says something about the author's writing abilities. Just a word of warning, the story is intense. It carries on from a cliffhanger at the end of the second book and I genuinely had no idea where it was going to go. And this is a massive book, it is 700 pages long, it's a beast. I had no idea how it was going to play out, but it did not disappoint me at all. Everything is tied up really nicely at the end, and the author has also hinted that there is the potential for another story, which I can definitely see and think would work really well, so keeping my fingers crossed for that. So as I keep saying over and over again, I'm a very character-driven reader. Unfortunately, I love the characters in this series and they just continue to get better and better as it goes along. The relationships in this story are brilliant. There's a wonderful close relationship between the two brothers Kel and Rye. But then there's also some really great friendships, some really complicated family relationships, and there are some great relationships as well. Like, honestly, the shipping in this book is real and it is great. So yes, I absolutely love this series. If you like fantasy, you will love this. So what am I reading right now? After finishing that mammoth fantasy book, I've been in the mood for a good contemporary read. So the lovely people at Penguin Random House sent me a copy of My Not So Perfect Life by Sophie Kinsella. This is her brand new book. It just came out last month and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm 100 pages in and if I could, I would probably just hibernate in my room and lock myself away and just finish the whole thing at once. This is about I think she's a 26-year-old girl who has recently moved to London and she's having a bit of a rough time, but she has a perfect Instagram feed. Basically, I believe she loses her job and has to move back home to Somerset with her dad and realises that her perfect boss wasn't so perfect after all and has to sort of decide where she wants to go with her life. So that hardback is going to stay safely at home. My commuting read and also my lunchtime read is going to be Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This book is still pretty new, it came out last year and it sounds really good. This is basically a prequel to Alice in Wonderland and it's all about the horrible Queen of Hearts and just how she became so horrible. On the back it says, "Long before Alice fell down the rabbit hole and before the roses were painted red, the Queen of Hearts was just a girl in love for the first time." Doesn't that just sound great? That is everything I've got to say. Links to all of the books I talked about will be in the description in case you want to find out more. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!